I think taking a step away from something you so dearly care about is one of the key essence of knowing when to take that time to improve. It's been almost 2 years now, and Tatsuki Fujimoto, mangaka of the widely popular Chainsaw Man and many other titles under his name, has just returned for his second installment within the story of Chainsaw Man. And over the last few years, he has been exceptionally perfecting his craft, and what I'm to think is him just simply taking some time to live his life and write the stories he wants to tell along the way. They might not be the longest, but each time we're able to get a one-shot or some short story, it feels like we get to know Fujimoto just a bit better, and take it as far as to even resonate with how he's able to present these stories in just a short amount of time we're able to spend with them. One-shots in other series have been popular for Fujimoto even before Chainsaw Man, but I think Fujimoto realized that there was something special with Chainsaw Man and it having a blend and effect of a very surface value but kind of a very badass battle shonen, but under the midst of everything, a very weird and ultra conflicting series that sometimes just drives you to have a connection towards. I believe Chainsaw Man for me is just a series that is indescribable at times, and it's something only you'll be able to conversate with in that deeper end of yourself. And who knows, maybe that's the case for Fujimoto as well, but with the advantage of being able to use that other half of yourself and put it down onto pen and paper. And as far as I'm concerned, since Chainsaw Man has been away, it almost felt like these other stories have given good practice for what Fujimoto considers his best work in Chainsaw Man. And as of this recording today, even though you'll probably see it days from now, but who knows, Chainsaw Man has returned, and not in the way I think most of us expected. I'd say that in the time that it was spent away from us, Fujimoto had learned a ton, and he's using that knowledge and given experience and applying it to Chainsaw Man in probably the best way possible. We're only about one chapter into the series, but with how things were tackled in this chapter, it may seem that in time, Chainsaw Man will be evolving to new heights for the better outcome of the series. I'd say that Fujimoto has come to a great understanding of just how everything revolving around what to do in such a short amount of time, and given that he has a full series to work with now again, he can finally use everything he had taught himself to his advantage. In doing so, creating new characters, new scenery, new powers, and new meaning to what the series of Chainsaw Man means to each and every single one of us, including Fujimoto himself. Like I mentioned, Fujimoto took a lot of time to work on other works since Chainsaw Man had been absent from the magazine, including titles such as Look Back, Just Listen to the Song, and Goodbye Eri. All these reflecting on a bit of Fujimoto's own personality and contemplative thoughts. And personally, I strongly resonate with them just as much. But with everything intact, let's take a look back at Chainsaw Man and see where we left off on in the story and what lies ahead in the near future for us. As most of us know, Chainsaw Man Part 1 ended back in December of 2020, leaving most of the fans in question just what's next for the story. Because the series ending in parts isn't necessarily usual for the magazine, and to tell you the truth, I honestly can't remember the last time a series did that wasn't Burn the Witch, and I'm sure as hell not gonna go back and look just to see what it was, but it's generally just not common for the magazine of Weekly Shonen Jump. And again, just a lot of us fans wondering what exactly was going to be happening to the series. And to be honest, a lot has happened since then. I mean, there were always rumors about the return of Chainsaw Man, including myself with the speculation, but we were never for sure on anything. In that time, we did have the announcement of the anime, which I believe will be coming out later this year during the fall core, but it wasn't until recently that we finally got confirmation that Chainsaw Man would be returning in only the magazine that knew was possible, which was Jump Plus. Flash forward to the other day, and now we are living in the time of the second part of Chainsaw Man along with the other goats in Jump Plus. So like I mentioned earlier, Chainsaw Man Part 2 definitely started off with a new vibe, feeling sort of reminiscent of some of his previous one-shot works that took place since Chainsaw Man had gone on break. At least that's how I felt about it. We were introduced to new characters and a new setting, but still the same area of which we all know and love that Chainsaw Man resides in. It's not too difficult to understand the arc he's trying to present within the first chapter. We all knew Fujimoto is an oddball, so seeing a chicken with no head and dying in the first chapter was to be expected, let's be real. Oh, and by the way, there will be spoilers for the chapter, but most of you already knew that. Asa Mitsuka, our main character in the presentation, is one of, I think, most of us can reside in with when it comes to the realism aspect, and a piece of what I think Fujimoto is presenting from himself. Behind all the messed up and terrible things that come from Chainsaw Man, we know that Fujimoto is trying to portray a connectable story just in the most odd and weirdest ways possible, which I personally really enjoy, and of course many of you out there do as well. The feeling of, I guess, quote unquote being in one's head too much was a big factor of the chapter, and the thoughts of overthinking from characters were again something I think relates to a lot of us fans of the series. The creative form that Fujimoto tackles things in is just so unique, and I mean, let's be real, taking a glimpse of it, that spinal cord sword and just the war devil itself was badass. Like, if I could put into words just how this man replicates his emotions and creative process onto this series, I think this video would be a lot better, but I'm doing the best I can. But I guess to simplify things a bit, this just felt like the biggest blend of the best of both worlds. On one hand, you have the time given away from the series of Chainsaw Man from his one-shots being applied into his biggest work, and on the other, you have that kick-ass series that is Chainsaw Man. And when put together, it's just a pile of splattered mess and junk beautifully wrapped in what people like myself call a masterpiece in the making. Chainsaw Man is definitely one of the hardest series to talk about because half the time you contemplate whatever you're saying makes sense or not, at least that's how I feel about it, but there's something about what we experience from Chainsaw Man that every single one of us can relate to, and whether that be something that's simple and badass or just indescribable, I don't think matters. The fact is, we love what we love, and when creating a piece of art like this that just makes sense, even when it doesn't, it just feels good. And I think if we thought Chainsaw Man was anywhere near good before, we're about to be blown away because again, Fujimoto has been in that hyperbolic time chamber training and working his ass off for what's to come next. Not only will we be blown away by the fact that the story is about to get insane again, but just from this first chapter alone, I highly have faith in the humanism of these characters moving forward. And I was thinking about this earlier, but with Chainsaw Man, it's really hard to expect just where things will go. I honestly think we're going to be tackling a school arc for Denji moving on to his high school years and studying by day, Chainsaw Man by night, you know, that kind of vibe, but who knows? It's Chainsaw Man. The sky is really not the limit. It's more like the entire universe doesn't even know what's going to happen next because it's just that unpredictable. And I'm honestly here for it every step of the way. Overall though, let's take it up a notch. This chapter was phenomenal to say the least, and I'm just glad we finally get to see Chainsaw Man back because you, me, everyone has missed it, and it's just one of those series you just have to experience weekly with the community, not just because of the horn dogs on Twitter, but it's just another great series to talk about on a weekly basis. And if for whatever the reason you're someone who has no idea what the hell Chainsaw Man even is, and you're watching a part 2 video to the end, I mean, first of all, thank you for giving me the watch time, but second of all, go read the series and then bring your way back on because this probably won't be the last time I'll be talking about Chainsaw Man. I know for sure I'll be talking about Storm once the anime comes out, but I'd love to know all your thoughts on what you guys thought about this chapter and what you think will happen moving forward. Other than that though, you know the deal. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the bell notifications. That way you stay up to date with most things anime and manga here on the channel. And just make sure to check out my Twitter and Instagram at Animeagi. And with that everyone, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.